Okay. So, technical difficulties. Okay. I guess I had to open on my thing. I need to know if it was working because I want to invite somebody really fast and I'm going to email it to myself. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Do this. See? So that's how I get set up for stream, just so you know. It's not a hidden process. It's a very open process. I take my second phone, and the reason why I'm taking my second phone is so I can put it where the second place I want my camera to go. So I can leave my webcam right there, and I can have a second camera. Awesome, right? There we go. One second. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. Now I'm really down, I think. One second. Okay, I don't think you can hear the background or feedback. Let me see what's going on. Okay, perfect. Now I kind of have everything set up. Just a little bit. Just so you are aware, today is the day of my anniversary. So I have to cut it a little bit short, and I probably will be making a run out because I'm also cooking dinner at the exact same time of this live so that I can do both because I'm hungry too, you know, food. Gotta love it. So for this, right now, there we go. Okay. So I always like, oops, my bad. Yeah, I always personally like starting with playing some music, even though my phone is acting very slow right now and it refuses to actually shut the sound off. So I'll officially start now. So hello sunshine, welcome back to my life. We're going to be going over the Disney Advent Calendar and having story time because why not today? But first, we're going to play a little bit of music on the xylophone just to tune some things up and get ready into just a more joyful spirit today. Yes. the last one, so we're going to choose this one. Like that sound a lot better. So, let me go ahead. Okay. Now I'm back. Wait a minute. I'm fine. Things are just falling in my office. If you like this sometimes, it really does. I'm feeling more put together than this, but sometimes I can. Hey, life ain't perfect, and that's okay. But I'm super excited because we get to read this. Okay, what's this? This is the Disney Advent calendar. Each day is a brand new story. I don't know what story is going to be told today, so let's open. Today is the 7th, my day of my anniversary, and number 7 is right here. Yay! Go ahead and close this, like so. We get to open it. I feel like this is kind of like Blue's Clues. I just got a letter. I just got this letter. Show me who it's from. Yeah. Okay, so it says it's a perfect party. And it's from, I believe, this is just all of the Aurora. That's who it looks like. But no, this is Cinderella. The description is Cinderella is planning a fabulous Christmas party in the castle, and the staff are confused when Cinderella wants to do all of the preparations herself, but it looks like the fairy godmother has other ideas. Oh no. I can't wait to read more. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is the first page. Yeah, I love it, right? Illustrations for days. Okay, I gotta go check on food. I will be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and put my camera on mute, but you'll be still able to hear me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Whew. I had to strain the noodles out and everything, which is not a hard thing. It's just, you know, sometimes when you're not ready and you still want to do stuff, it's nothing turn out. That's impacting your life. A little bit chaotic, you know, just a little bit. This is. And the last thing I didn't do, just so you know what I'm doing right now, is I did not set up to also do my live on just the talk only app that I do, because we do listen to story time every day too, because we all want to learn all this information, as kid stories really do teach everyone. There's always a symbolic meaning that an adult can get that a kid just might not get, but they will get the stuff that was generally tailored towards them. There's a lot of things that are put into stories for the adults, and what we're finding in these books is that yes, it might have a beautiful theme, but there's something more deep down that is there for us to talk about. And we're going to use some wisdom, discernment. You might need to look up some words depending on what words decide they're going to pop out. And I might be like, I need to look up a word so I actually can say this appropriately. Because at least I know for myself, I do not know everything. I wish I did, but I don't. And I'm learning on a continual basis. So with all this being said, let's see here. This is day 7. Okay. So, right now, I have to do a really fast introduction. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much. Yes, we're restarting again, and it's 13 minutes already into this live, and that is perfectly fine. I am currently live on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Facebook Live, and today we're having story time. What story time? The story time has come from me deciding to buy an advent calendar that was Disney based, and it has 24 fun stories with all the Disney characters that go over just different stories for every day. Today we're on day 7, and day 7 brings us to the Cinderella section of the Disney princesses. The story is called A Perfect Party. The description I've already read to those that are watching me visually, but those that are just listening in and tuning in right now, let me give you the description or the summary or the objective of what this story is. After we're reading the story, we're going to dissect it just a little bit to see if we can get an even deeper meaning in regards to what we are reading. The synopsis is Cinderella is planning a fabulous Christmas party in the castle. The staff are confused when Cinderella wants to do all the preparations herself, but it looks like a fairy godmother has other ideas. Oh, sounds like someone's already helped her. I love that. I love when people want to help other people. It brightens my heart. Yes, it does. Cinderella and her prince sat before a roaring fire. Christmas was coming in a few days, and Cinderella was excited. Let's throw a party, she suggested to the prince. What a splendid idea, he replied. How can I help? Cinderella smiled. Just leave everything to me, she said. The next day, the princess began to decorate. May we help Cinderella? Jack and Gus asked. Of course, she replied. Let's start with the grand staircase. When the mice tied some bows, a spool of ribbon began to roll down the banister. Gus hopped aboard and was just like a sled ride without the sled. Gotta make the fun out of everything. When Cinderella and her friends finished the staircase, they moved on to the rest of the castle. Jack and Gus helped the princess put garlands over the windows in the ballroom with pretty bells and bulbs. The tied springs of holly over the doorways, then even hung stockings by the fireplaces and lit candles, which gave the rooms a cozy glow. Finally, Cinderella and her friends moved to the stone patio where Cinderella planned to hold her party. Won't our guests be chilly out here? The prince asked. I'm sure it will be fine, Cinderella replied. Besides, what could be more magical than celebrating under the stars? I like stars. They're sparkly, Gus said, as he nibbled on a popcorn garland. Gus, Jack scolded. You're supposed to be hanging decorations, not eating them. Is it bad that I relate with that? I will be eating the decoration too. My bad. Not my bad. Later, Cinderella went to the royal sewing room. When Prejudice, the head of the household staff, peeked in, she saw the princess sewing a handkerchief. Why don't you ask the royal seamstress to do that? Prentice suggested. I am making presents for our guests, Cinderella said. It gives them a special, personal touch if I do them myself. On Christmas Eve, the royal chief came to speak with Cinderella. He wanted to know what he could cook for the party. Not a thing, Cinderella replied. Later, Prejudice saw her in the storeroom filling baskets with fruit, ears of corn, and different kinds of cheese. She was appalled. Back on the patio, Cinderella laid out the food. She said. Something's missing, but what? Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother magically appeared. My dear, you need a centerpiece, she said, waving her wand. She turned a water jug into an ice sculpture. Now everything is perfect for our Christmas picnic, Cinderella exclaimed. When Cinderella left to change her gown, the fairy godmother slipped into the banquet room. Oh no, she said, looking at the decorations. My apologies. Had a phone call come through. Had to decline it really fast. Apologize, phone call came through. Had to decline it really fast. And it stopped a lot of stuff down here. So, back to the story. My apologies for the pause. When Cinderella left to change her gown, the fairy godmother slipped into the banquet room. Oh no, she said, looking at the decorations Cinderella and the mice had hung. This will never do for a royal ball. This fairy godmother waved her wand. Instantly, the elaborate feast appeared. She waved her wand over twice more, and the court musicians appeared, ready to play. Now, that's more like it, the fairy godmother said. When Cinderella and the prince walked past the banquet room, the princess couldn't believe her eyes. Just then, Prejudice rushed in. Where are your guests? She asked Cinderella. My party isn't being held in here, Cinderella told her. Then what is? Prejudice asked. Thinking quickly, the princess says, a Christmas party in honor of the royal staff. Would you please tell everyone else? What a wonderful surprise, the housekeeper exclaimed. Cinderella opened the patio doors. Merry Christmas! A chorus of chips, barks, and whines answered her. All of Cinderella's animal friends had gathered for her party. Happy Christmas, Cinderella! Gus shouted. Merry Christmas, Jack said, correcting him. After lots of delicious food, it was time for presents. There were new feed bags, cozy blankets, and a stylish mouse-sized outfits. Jack loved his new jacket so much that he could not stop looking at his reflection. Later, the Prince and Cinderella danced under the stars. When they stopped, they realized they were alone. Oh my, look, Cinderella cried. Their animal friends had gone inside and were with the staff. Delighted that everyone was getting along, Cinderella and the prince joined them. It was the most unusual and the merriest Christmas celebration they have ever had. So, you read this? What can we learn from this story? First, you saw how Cinderella was able to roll with the punches. She wanted to be a certain way. She told everyone she wanted to be a certain way. Fairy godmother said, no, this is not how the way things are done. Prejudice even said, these are not the way things are done. This is ridiculous. So let us do our jobs, kind of thing. And like I said, fairy godmother did what she was going to do, and she changed things and made it where things were decorated the way that the royals are used to being decorated. But she decorated a place that Cinderella wasn't even having the party, which I think is why Cinderella was just fine to saying, no, this is for the royal staff, because the party she already knew was outside, that's what she planned for everybody else. And there was nothing wrong with that. But I will say that to judge someone based off their actions is not okay, because that's what you saw when Prejudice got upset at Cinderella for doing it a way that the prince even was fine with her doing, because, no offense, he's the husband and he just wants her happy. He doesn't want to fight her, he just wants her happy. I'm going to be absolutely honest, from me being married, that's generally how that goes. They just want you to be happy. And if they don't, they're not for you, kind of thing. Another thing that we saw is someone taking action when no action was needed, and they didn't fail to communicate to even know if it was properly needed. That's what their godmother did. She went behind individuals' backs and still did something, even though it was the sweetest thing ever. She didn't talk to Cinderella prior to her doing it, and she was the party planner. If you're thinking about this, we're going to take this children's story and make it an adult. In regards to a employee to manager situation, when it comes to that dynamic, if the employee just goes on their own, doesn't tell the manager what they're doing, even if it's a surprise, the manager, if they're not very happy with it, can write you up due to it. And you're like, how can you learn all that from a Cinderella story? Because it's the exact same concept. We're taking this and we're applying it to real life. If you have a person that, like I said, they wanted to help out, they thought they understood their assignment, they thought they knew the requirements, and they did it anyway, but they failed to communicate with the person that was the lead in regards to the project. The lead in regards to the project was Cinderella. The lead in regards to your work life sometimes is your manager, if not you, depending on what kind of role you have in the organization. What else did we learn from this? Is we learned that even when things don't go the way that you thought they were going to go, you can still have a fun and enjoy the time that you have. You can still be present. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to be mad. You can just roll with it and let the stuff just roll off of you. And why do you let it just roll off of you? Because you know that there's no point in you ruining your good mood that you're already in. There's no point. So if you're in a place where you're like, I'm in that bad mood, Charente, I'm going to give you these little words that are going to help you just a little bit. I say these words to do my forgiveness, and I like being able to forgive something and let it go, and that's because it's not for me anyway. It's just holding me back and keeping me stuck in a pattern of looking at past movies that are memories in my life. What I say is, my apologies. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you unconditionally. And the reason I say this is because I do. I don't have conditions on my love. I don't whatsoever. So when someone messes up or something doesn't go the way that I thought, I'm going to instantly forgive it and let it go. And the reason why I instantly let it go is, like I said, so I can keep moving on. There are so many dreams that I want to fulfill in my life, but I can't do that if I'm focusing and getting stuck in the past, or getting caught up in the future and being anxious and having panic attacks and not being able to breathe. And I just have to calm and slow myself down. You are more than enough. You deserve all the dreams that you want to have in your life. And the first step to you getting there is by you recognizing that you are uniquely made. No one's going to be you but you. That's the honest to God truth. No one can beat you besides yourself either. If you didn't know that, now you do. And I'm proud of you. You woke up again today. You woke up again today. And I am so proud of you that if you made it out of bed, I am proud of that. If you made it just to the bathroom, I am proud of that. Because doing these tiny little things, some people can't even do them. I remember times when I couldn't do these little things. And I appreciate just being here, being able to talk to you right now. Whether you're seeing me on my YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live because you want to see my face, or you're just listening to me on the Wisdom app that's only available on iOS. Either way, I'm appreciative of you, and I'm glad that I'm able to share with you and share different stories with you and give you just a little bit more insight when it comes to a children's story can give you some very adult themes, and it can teach you some stuff. That's only if you're willing to listen. Know that you are more than enough. Know that you are worthy. And just for the fun of it, I like pulling cards. So we're going to pull a card from How to Love Yourself. And it's literally a box. And it has a whole bunch of cards in here. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a card. If someone is in the chat right now that wants to give me a number, I would greatly appreciate that. Any number will do. 1 to 10 will work for me. And if not, I will choose it myself. Oh, I love you too, Sasa Nuguru. I do. Naru. Okay, so let's see here. Since no one has a selected one, I'm just going to go and pick a random one. I'm not looking. I'm just going to pick a random one. And the one I pick is... Let's find it. Okay. It says, we create habits and problems to fulfill a need. When I can find a positive way to fulfill the need, I can release the problem. The affirmation for this. I release all feelings of negativity and guilt. I'm going to repeat this card one more time just in case you didn't hear it. We create habits and problems to fulfill a need. When I can find a positive way to fulfill the need, I can release the problem. And the affirmation is, I release all the feelings of negativity and guilt. Ain't that nice? And why do you do that? Because when you're focused on the problem, you're complaining all the time. When you're complaining, you're getting more of the exact same thing because that's all you're focusing on. When you start focusing on something else, you start attracting that something else. Whether it's good for, it's better for you, or whether it's worse for you. You are really the creator of your own reality. Let's see. Oh, she said number 6. Okay, then I didn't do number 6, so I have to guess do number 6. Thank you, Sasa Nuru. And this is also why we do stuff. So, taking the top part of it. You said 6, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6. I'm going to go ahead and put it down right here. And let's go really fast. Okay. So this says, let's go. Oh, this is a nice one. I let my light shine. I am wonderful. I rejoice in the truth of my being. I accept it and I so and let it be. Just so you can hear the affirmation again. I let my light shine. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that was number 6 for Salsa Nuru, as she asked for it on chat right now. I'm just going to say I am very happy that I'm able here, to, like I said, just to be able to share with you. We went over a beautiful story by the name of A Perfect Party. And it's from the Cinderella. That is wonderful. I'm also getting chats while I'm reading things out, and I will be stopping to read those chats. We learned a lot from it. We learned some HR things from it, and we also learned that you have to properly communicate. You really do. Yes, Cinderella was able just to quickly forgive and move on and not let anything faze her. However, as the person doing the action, make sure you're thinking about, did you already talk to someone? Does this action affect somebody else? And if it does, directly, talk to them. in your household, if it's your husband, if it's your brother, if it's your sister, if it's your friend, whoever this is going to directly affect, talk to them. Have that conversation, be open with them. And the reason why you're open with them is due to transparency, and it also makes it easy for you to understand and not just, how do I say this? And not just get into a lot of trick bags that you personally don't even want to be in, kind of thing. And like I said, I very much appreciate all of you. And thank you so much for the compliments. I really do appreciate it. And thank you, like I said, so much for tuning in and listening. I will be back shortly. And that is only because we are going to be talking BTS. And now I know everyone that wants to talk BTS, and that is absolutely, positively fine, which is why I'm creating a second live for this. So I'll be right back. Stay tuned, because we need to talk BTS and what this hiatus means for them and why this is kind of important and pivotal for the music industry, especially in South Korea. So stay tuned for that. I'll be right back.